Hello and welcome to this series of tutorials where we're going to show you all the features we have in the TakeOff Technology online tool. This first series is going to focus on airfoil design and calculation and optimization, but all the part around the 2D section design, which is a very important part of wing, foil, aileron, any kind of surface that is going through a fluid. So in this first video, we're going to focus on just the interface, how to manage the geometry, what's the data that we can see in the tool, how to manage the 2D viewer and control all the geometry. So here we are. Once we start and we have a new project, we will have this view. We have a 2D viewer here and some data on the section here down. So let's focus first on the 2D viewer. The 2D viewer, it works the same in all the tools. It's common for all the tools. So once you're familiar with this 2D viewer for the foil section, you will be familiar with all the 2D viewers of the tool. So we're going to go command by command. First of all, just on how to move in this 2D viewer, you zoom scrolling the wheel and you pan with the right button. Then if you get lost at some point, you just double click with the left button and it comes back to all the geometries that you have on your viewer. Then let's go button by button. So here we have grid visibility. So this grid is multiples of 10 and hundreds, 1, 0.1. So if you zoom out, you see the size of each of them. Here the section, the chord is always 1 when we define the section. So now we have grid of 1. If we zoom a bit more, it's 0.1, which is pretty useful to know more or less where the position of each part of the profile is. So you can activate it or deactivate it. Then here you have select the background image. So we can put an image on the background, and with this match section, just moving the control points on the image. So now if I move, everything moves together, but if I press Control, then only the image will move. So I can make the same movement that I used to do with the viewport, but only with the image. So I'm going to do it just roughly, place it where I want it to be. There we go with the mouse, and then I'm gonna move with the arrows. So I just press Control, and the arrows you will see up, down, left, and right, and I'm gonna place my section. If I want to zoom, I just press Shift up, and it will zoom the image, and I go there until it's well placed. There we go, more or less. And now, so how to drag the control points of the section? We just click on them, and then we just move the control points where we want them to go. Okay, this is a manual way of importing sections. If we, for example, only have the image, maybe from a paper, or maybe from somewhere in the internet, we see an image of a curious section, or as we have on the series with the America's Cup, if we have a photo of a Team New Zealand section, we can reproduce it. Okay, and now if we want to remove the background image, we just click this button and it will remove the background image. Then let's continue with the controls. Here it's a fit view, so if I'm lost again, instead of double clicking, I can click here. Then I can select the control points, a lot of them, not just one. And if I want to clean my selection, I just press this button. Then here, it's to lock the dragging. So now here, with the control points, I can drag them up and down and left and right. If I select a lot of them, I will drag them all together. But now imagine I want to lock the X position, and I just want to let them go up and down. So here, I'm going to lock the horizontal dragging. So now once I select it, I cannot move left and right, I can only move up and down. And it's the same for this one. Now I'm disabling the vertical dragging, so I can only drag horizontal and not vertically. Okay, and these 6 buttons are alignments of the selection. So imagine I have selected 3 control points and I want to align them on the left. Not very useful for the sections, but for cross sections of fuselage, or maybe if I want to make a kink. So imagine I want to join these 3 points into a single point. I can do it, and now here I have a kink in my section, and I can move it like that. Also, I can clear the selection just by right-clicking nowhere, and I will clean my selection. Okay, so this just to align the selection. And here we have some debug information. It's just to see if I'm lagging or the canvas size and stuff like that. So that will be common to all the 2D viewers we have in our tool. So while defining functions that will modify a wing, while defining cross-section that will modify a fuselage, the controls will be exactly the same. And then on the bottom part, we have specific controls just focused on the section design. So one button that is very useful is this curvature. So this we can see live the curvature of my section. Of course, sometimes the section looks really smooth, but then you plot on the curvatures and it's not as smooth as you expected. So here it's a really good way of seeing the smoothness of your section, and you can change it if you want to see the curvature of the leading edge. So here we have tangent continuity but not curvature continuity on the leading edge. It's a common things in the section, and then if you put a bit bigger curvature, you will see how the curvature evolves downstream the profile. And if you just put it on the left, you just deactivate it. Then this is a check. So if you activate it, the control point that will move will move symmetrically. Okay, so if I modify these 2 control points, they will do exactly the same on the other side, on the upper curve, and it's gonna do the same here. So now I'm locking. Each time I move a control point, it will move it symmetrically on the other side. This button is to take all the control points from the top surface and match them exactly the same on the bottom one. So now I have a symmetrical section by matching the top control points. And I can do the same with the bottom control points. So imagine I have something like that, and I want the top surface to be symmetrical compared to the bottom. I click this and it's done. Then maybe I have a camber section. So let's make a camber section. And now this camber section that should lift up, I want to make it lift down. So I want exactly the same section but to be flapped or swapped. I just press this button and it will make the swap section. This offset is, so now I'm gonna just come back here in a moment. Here on the left part you have a nav bar where you have all your foil sections. So here we just have one. This one now is selected. I can hide it, I can show it, and now I can, for example, duplicate it. So now I have two foil sections, and that's why this button is useful for, because maybe you want to see them just one over the other, or maybe you want to separate them to see one near the other. So now I have 2 foil sections. If I want to change the name here, let's call them section 1, and let's call them section 2. I double click on the name and it will change the name. So now, for example, let's make this one, let's swap it, and this one, let's make it symmetric with the bottom control points. Okay, and a bit more offset. So we've seen, and then we have this button is to show some useful information. So this line show the trailing edge angle. Here we have a symmetrical section, so it goes straight. We see the camber line, and we see the thickness line, which means the thickness of the section without camber. So pretty useful to visually see where the max camber is, where the max thickness is. So that's all for this video. We've seen how to manage 2D canvas and section names and the interface of we have on TakeOff. On next video, we will see how to manage the parameters of an airfoil section, as the relative thickness, as the section modulus, as the inertia, as the area, as the camber of the section, easily with this tool. I hope it is useful. Don't hesitate to ask us any doubt. We will be super happy to answer to you. Subscribe for more videos and see you on the next video.